Hey guys, this is a video update on how to self-test, and we're not going to just be talking about diastasis width. So chubby. He's so chubby. He's angry chubby wubbit. He wants milk and he's tired. Isn't that right, chubby wubbit? You mad? Okay, milk. You want that milk, 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 milk. So for this self-test, I want you to do a measurement of 4 different things. We're going to measure the width of our diastasis and fingers, okay? We're also going to measure the depth of our diastasis and knuckles. Boop, boop, boop. And we're going to measure our waistline at its widest point, okay? And then another thing that we're not really going to measure, but more kind of self-assess, is bloating. Like if we feel like we're bloated generally, especially at the time of measurement. A lot of times we focus a lot on the width and we don't focus on the depth. And when I show you, you'll see what I mean. Another thing I want us to do is consider, you know, when we're measuring waistline, we have to consider that some of us still might have some abdominal fat, whether it's on the outside of our deep core muscles or if it's on the inside of our deep core muscles, in and around the organs. So that's something that's going to make a difference, okay? And we want to measure that. And then assessing bloating. Some of us are chronically bloated, so our stomach is a lot bigger. Like, do you notice in the beginning of the day that your stomach is not so big, and then by the end of the day your stomach is big? Now that can be a few different things, maybe more than a few, but a big part of that could be indigestion or bloating that could be causing that difference of the size of our stomachs from the beginning of the day to the end. And because we have the diastasis, it's going to show up more because we don't have the muscle strength to hold our organs and that bloating in when we're feeling, you know, indigestion or bloating. Does that make sense? Okay, if not, feel free to leave the comments, leave in the comments section any questions that you have, and I'll make sure to do a follow-up video on this. Okay, so let me lie down and just show you what I'm talking about. Chubby Wubby is officially sleeping. Right there. So let's see if I can't show you what I'm talking about before he wakes up. Okay. Oh, let's get a close-up of Chubby Wubby. You're so precious. I love him so much. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about as far as self-testing. Now remember, we're going to test the width. So, you know, let me show you. You just have your knees up like this, about shoulder length, about shoulder width apart. And I'm going to lift my head up just a little bit off the ground. You don't have to have it all the way up like this. Just hold it up like literally, you know, an inch up from the ground or so. And then if you get tired, because I do when I'm testing, you just put your head back down and then bring it back up. Okay, so I'm going to put my head up a little bit. I'm going to try to stick a finger in there. And actually, I don't know if it's closing up more, because I've been doing some breathing exercises and trying to really fix my posture, but mine is barely a finger width apart. Okay, it's a finger like right around here, but coming down here, it's less than a finger width apart. However, I still have quite a pudge here, okay? And this is why. we're gonna now measure depth. Now you can use your first finger, just so that you have a reference point. If you use different fingers, you know, you're different. The length from the tip to your knuckle might vary between the fingers. So I just stay consistent and use your first finger. I'm gonna stick it down in my diastasis and see how deep it goes. And when I say deep, I'm saying how many knuckles deep it goes. So here, it's about 1 knuckle, right around my belly button. Right below my belly button, it's nearly 2 knuckles. That's not great. And all the way down is, yeah, it's about 1.5 knuckles. Coming up this way, it's getting tighter. So it's like literally a fingertip up here, okay? So what you want to do is measure width from about your rib cage down to the top of your hips. between the hip bones and the rib cage, you want to measure all the way down, and you want to assess about how wide it is going up and down. So for me, it's around my belly button. It's about a finger width, but beyond an inch below and above, it's less. So I might write down or record that within an inch of my belly button, I have about a finger width diastasis gap. And then beyond that, above and below, I have about a half a finger, or something, less than a finger width of my diastasis. So that's what I would write down. And then as far as depth, I'm going to write down like about an inch above my belly button. It goes in about 1 knuckle. And then below my belly button, it literally starts sinking down to 2, all the way to about the top of my hips. Okay? So that's what I'm going to record, so that as 1 month goes by, I can assess. I'll measure again and see where I am. Okay, so then we're also going to record around, okay, I'm going to relax my tummy. So we're going to record the widest part, and I'm going to just put my pant line at the widest part of my abs. I'm trying to relax. So about here. Now, if you don't have like a measuring tape, which I actually don't have one on me right now, just get a string, a rope, anything that you can put around yourself and see how small it is, how big or small it is. And then you can put it up against a ruler and measure it, or you can keep that string and then you can test yourself against it every month and just to see your improvement, okay? But get it to where you can actually write down the number. When you see your progress, it's so encouraging because it helps us want to continue on. If we don't feel like we're getting any better, we're not going to want to keep going. Sometimes it's discouraging. So do write down your numbers so that we can know. I didn't really go into depth about what the body and the anatomy and physiology of your stomach, because it's not just muscles that you have there. You also and mostly have fascia in the center. You have your six-pack muscles there, but you also, when it comes to like your transverse abdominis, which is your deeper layer, your internal obliques, which is the next layer up, and then the top layer is your external obliques. From here to here is pretty much just connective tissue or fascia, and that's what's there in the midline. So what's really stretched out is our connective tissue and our fascia, and the muscles on the sides are a little bit weaker from carrying babies or just from carrying any kind of intra-abdominal pressure, because men can also have diastasis recti if they've just had a lot of internal pressure from fat or whatever it is. Okay, so that fascia or that connective tissue has expanded to help to accommodate for one of these people over here. And that's wonderful, that's awesome. And gradually over 9 months that occurred. So it's not going to just bounce back for everybody right away, and for the most part it doesn't. It takes time. So give yourself some time, know what's going on, know how to test, continue to be consistent in working with your diastasis. If bloating is an issue, look at how to make that situation better. If fat is an issue, we're going to have to lose the fat as well to help decrease the intra-abdominal pressure so that we can assist in healing. But all those things are going to come into play when it comes to healing. But it's very doable, and I'm really excited to be doing this with you. I hope that this video has benefited you in some way. If so, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe so that you don't miss anything in the future.